A story carried in some of the tabloids today relates to a young man who was convicted of drink driving at Perth Sheriff Court. The press seem almost surprised that the young man was banned from driving for 3 years and his car was forfeited, or rather, the car that his father had bought him was forfeited. The position in Scotland is that if you're found guilty of drink driving and the limit is exceeded by more than 3 times, as it was in this case, I think 5 times, then the car can be forfeited. Procurator Fiscal makes a motion to forfeit the car, and the sheriff makes an order deciding whether he's going to do exactly that, and your car can often be crushed in no time. In relation to this case, clearly there was an impact on not only the young man himself, but also his father. His father had bought the car for him, and therefore there was an element of punishment that affected the entire family, really. However, one can't be critical of the present system. That is the law in Scotland. The law is quite clear on this issue. The car was owned by the young man. It can be forfeited by the young man. This guy had been involved in previous drink driving within a relatively short period, I think a few months before he'd been convicted at Kilmarnock Sheriff Court, according to newspaper reports. Now, the net effect is that here's a young man who's on the road, drink driving 5 times the limit, and he's presently under a community service order or a community payback order in relation to a previous drink driving offence. So the law is that he has to have at least a minimum of 3-year disqualification, and that's what was imposed. And the court can also decide about forfeiture of the car. Quite frankly, he's a young man who was very lucky to keep his liberty, so his solicitor must have done a good job in persuading the court that there was some merit in allowing this guy to stay at large. Clearly the car's gone, so perhaps that was really the key factor in reducing the level of risk to the rest of us. If you're charged with drink driving in Scotland, you need to be aware that the punishment is not only the fact that you will lose your driving licence if convicted, but there is a chance that your car can also be forfeited. And that doesn't matter whether it's a Rolls Royce or whether it's something that you've just managed to pull together from the scrapyard in bits and pieces. The car can be forfeited no matter what the value is. If you want further advice about forfeiture of vehicles or drink driving and the law in relation to same, get in touch with us. We're on 0800 612 9597. That's 0800 612 9597. Or go online to the website, fill in the form, and a solicitor will get back to you today.